Recently, I've found out about this US-based job platform called Oysterling that is specialized in restaurants and hospitality. Now, I would like to use their website in order to perform a really fast exploratory testing demonstration. In order to make it straightforward and short, I will not use features that require us to log in, to create an account, and so on. That's why I have found their job calculator, or I'm sorry, paycheck calculator feature to be the best one for this demonstration. So instantly we can see that the application contains a input field for salary where the users are supposed to type in their result along with two other fields where the values are predefined. So when it comes to these fields where users has to type in their result, always some restrictions has to be implemented in order the input field to work as it is supposed to work in the application. So for example, in this case, we may easily conclude that only numbers should be used since the application operates with numbers. We can instantly test that by trying to use some other types of characters, and as we can see, the application informs us that only numbers greater than 0 and no leading with 0 should be used. So if we use 0, it will not work. If we use numbers that starts with 0, will not work. Any number lower than 0 will not work. So only numbers higher than 0 are supposed to be used, and then the application works as expected. Now, where can some hidden glitches lie? Well, um, input fields should always have restrictions regarding the maximum number of characters to be used. Let's see if that's the case here. We type in random numbers and see if it stops us at some moment, but it never happens. If we try to calculate, we can see that the application has made calculations and came up with these ridiculous numbers that are actually breaking the visual layout and forcing the content out of the screen, which should never happen. Now, can this be classified as a bug? Well, it definitely is not a functional bug since the application is doing what is it supposed to do. It is calculating. Again, would ever a typical user make such an input like this? Well, they would probably not unless it is some kid playing with the application. Still, this is not a typical way of implementing an input field, meaning that this can be classified as a low priority user interface and usability defect that is allowing extreme input values, which should never be the case. Since this isn't a functional bug, we can classify it as an optional that a company may fix if they got time and people to do so. What would be the most straightforward and easiest solution here? Well, basically restricting this input field to, let's say, 10 or 13 characters. That would be actually expected to be used in this field, although the typical user would use even less characters. So I guess I hope you've enjoyed this video and see you soon.